guest with me today, Dr.
Hey.
Anna.
Hi, everyone.
So Anna is, how long have I known you, man? Years.
I think it's 8 years.
Is it 8 years?
Maybe it's more. I'm not sure.
It's,
I've lost track of time.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Anna is one of the world's greatest authorities on trauma and how to deal with it. And she's got a practice close to me, and she's training other people, and she's the expert. It's hard. Like I got a pen over here because we're doing like this format. So she's never done an Instagram live before. So I said, come on over, 12:30 Eastern. We're going live. She's a kinesthetic learner, so she wants to see the process as we go through. So if you have questions for me and or Anna, then leave them here, and we'll get into it. We love people joining in live, picture-in-picture. That would be awesome. If not, give us your questions, and we'll go. Do you have a thought for us today?
Yeah. You know what I was thinking about as I was coming here was that, kind of like a EMW.
What's EMW?
Yeah, exactly. Like I was thinking about entrepreneur mental wellness.
Oh,
you know?
I like that. It's important.
I know, it is, because I think that what happens for a lot of people who go into business is they're just, we're all the same. Like, I'm an entrepreneur too, right? That's how I know you.
Yeah.
And I think that one of the really important things is to just be aware that whatever we bring in from our personal lives, whatever is true for us, whatever we struggle with in our personal lives actually has a way of pouring into our work lives. You find that, right?
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
Yeah, and I think that we've actually seen some. Because we are involved in a group that meets on a regular basis, we've seen how sometimes even with that group, not going into any stories, that we can see how when somebody's struggling with something personally, it can really kind of affect and impair what happens in their business lives and even in their business relationships. Like if we are struggling in how we see ourselves, for example, if I have a feeling like, oh, the world isn't fair to me, like in my personal life, if I really believe that, then I'm going to feel that in my business life as well. So that's what I was thinking about.
Especially entrepreneurs. That's everybody, but especially entrepreneurs, right? We're so tied to our business.
Yeah, and we're all working really hard to keep things alive and to communicate. Because for most people, when you're an entrepreneur, there's this kind of, you got to have your hands on, and you've got to actually be talking to people and interacting and asking questions. And if you're building business, then you're building connections and you're having real, live, important interactions with people. And if you find that your connections are not so good in your personal life, whatever it is that you're struggling with in your personal life, it pours into your business world and your business relationships.
That's what she's thinking on the way over. OMW.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so this lady is on point, so they can leave comments, ask questions.
It can be really tough too, you know, because we can kind of have this idea, it's, like business is all business. But it's like, it's not all business. You can't separate your business from who you actually are as a person. We bring everything that we bring in from our personal life. It just becomes who we are in our work life. So if we clean up our own emotional story in our personal life, then we get to have kind of a clean platform in our work life. And it can make things so much smoother.
I like it.
You like it? So find ourselves in a relationship with people in our work, and when we really kind of come to terms with whatever our own triggers are or our own struggles.
There he is.
Hi, JJ.
Third book right now, so I'm focusing on that. I got my second book coming out next month. It's called Become a 21st Century Entrepreneur. It's going to be the greatest book ever written on entrepreneurship in the last 200 years. Straight up.
I'd like to hear what you have to say about that.
The book is called Become. Because one thing I had to learn is that, and thank God for Evan. Evan really helped me with this with his YouTube channel, because it was like, it became like my entrepreneurship university, right? Like,
yeah, Evan's the best.
But like, no joke. So what I'm teaching in the book is that, become is the first word. Like, become means you can transform into something. You can convert into something. And a lot of entrepreneurs, they think, I'm not a salesperson. Or that. No, you can become that. I'm not a marketer. You can become that. Like I heard Evan say a few months ago that he was ignoring his Instagram channel. As soon as he started focusing on it, he broke 10,000, now 11,000, stuff like that. So you can become a marketer. You can become a manager. And I believe that you have to acquire certain skills in today's cluttered, crowded economy in order to get attention and make some kind of impact. So that's what I'm trying to teach people. I'm not magnifying, become a jack of all trades, but when you first getting started, you have to have some amount of skills to kind of get through the door. So that's what I'm teaching in this book.
So is your primary business sharing information and writing?
Yes, and I also have a T-shirt line. I have a T-shirt that say #self-employed. I have another T-shirt that says Entrepreneur Lives Matter. And I stole over a lot.
Where's my T-shirt, JJ, man? I want to showcase that.
Okay, I'm gonna have to get it to you. Yeah, I went viral in 2015. I was on the news out here 3 weeks in a row in Houston. And I didn't sold so many T-shirts. So yeah, that's basically, yep, that's what I got. I have a TV show, my seminar with me sharing information, and my T-shirts. Yep.
When does the book drop? When does the book drop?
If you can't see it, this shirt says JJ Simmons is backwards. Sold me this shirt for $100. That I have.
I like it, man. Listen, when does the book drop?
September 22nd.
September 22nd. Okay, send me a copy, man. I wanna take a picture and help promote it too.
Okay, JJ, I want to know, JJ, when you think about what I said before, do you think it's true that your personal life can pour into your entrepreneur life if you are not keeping it clean or if you haven't done your own personal work?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, tell me about that.
Well, one thing is that a lot of people in today's life, man, you either have mastered your emotions or you haven't. And when you haven't, mastered your emotions, eventually, because some people today, they like to rant and get on social media and tell all their business, and what they don't understand, that 99% of the people really don't care. And when you start talking about all your problems, it can affect you. And, people already judge you. You don't need to give them another reason to judge you. That's what I see. So, yeah, you do got to be careful, man, because, it's like people, they only love you when you got fruit on your tree.
Is that true? Is that true, JJ?
For some people.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what, when you say that, you know what it makes me think of? I'm kind of thinking about how, for a lot of people, when we do have to come from that place, like, we're only good when we have our next fruit, when we're feeling really great, that there's a kind of like epidemic of kind of loneliness in our culture, and that if people feel that they're only good or they're only important or meaningful when they're feeling upbeat and good, then it really undermines our sense of connection. And I kind of think that even in terms of entrepreneurship, our biggest win often comes because we just really bringing what is true, like our genuine selves, like we feel that we can connect in a true way with the people that are around us. Otherwise, we can feel incredibly isolated, disconnected, and not feel that we even trust ourselves when we're connecting with other people.
That's the reason why you can't let success go to your head.
I love that.
Like, for example, like my wife, my children, like I'm finna get off. When I leave here, I got to go school shopping. These kids really love me. They see what I got going on, but they don't really understand. They can care less about that. So, for example, not the guy on the picture behind us, Kanye West. I love Kanye. But right now, his career, it ain't what it was. And people judging him based on what he has and what he don't have. Because right now, if he was to drop something and sell 10 million downloads or whatever, people would assume, well, he's back on board. But the problem is people judge you like the hip-hop industry. They say you only as good as your last album. So it's sad. It's a real sad thing. And that's why you got to know your purpose in life. And you have to have a connection to God in life. Because if you don't, you begin to connect your self identity with your external manifestation, and that stuff can ruin your mind. That's why they got so many people committing suicide. You know, walls go down, people start jumping off buildings. Why? Because their success was connected to the money.
Yeah.
That's a scary place to be at. And as a husband and as a father, you know, I struggle with that all the time because I got to provide and I got to be leveled at the same time and understand that if I'm $500 short, you know, it's not time to commit suicide. It's just the next day to do it all over again.
Mm-hmm. That's a really beautiful thing that you just said there, JJ. This idea that we don't judge ourselves if we're not at 1 million downloads. We kind of lean towards what's true and our relationships. And I love what you said about your kids and how they think about you, because there's a really beautiful measure of success. It's like, these kids really love you. You're already winning.
Exactly. And let me just say this last thing. Never forget this. Evan is going to do a top 10 on me real soon, and one of my rules is going to become your mind is a negotiator. Okay, you have to understand that your mind negotiates with you, and thoughts that you have is not your real self. It's your mind trying to negotiate. So you have to learn the difference between the real voice and the lies that's in your mind. And if you don't learn how to figure this out, you're going to have a hard time in life. So a lot of people, they do these stupid things. They commit suicide because they don't understand that their mind is negotiating with them and trying to get them to settle and do the negative thing versus doing. It's like the cartoons, right? You got the sword on one head, shoulder, the enemy, and that's in real life because your mind is always negotiating with you. Self-esteem, no self-esteem. Make the deal, don't make the deal. Drop the product, don't. So you got to learn how to master your mind, because a lot of people, we find our self-worth in all these They don't get me wrong. It can make or break you, but you got to be real careful with it. You got to be real careful.
Thanks for the love, JJ, man. DM me the books, then the T-shirt stuff. We'll figure that out.
Yes, sir. God bless
you.
Believe.
Yeah, man. Believe. See you, man. The fire.
Bye, JJ.
That's it. Oh, okay. I didn't show you that. That was fast. So when he's done, you click the X, and then it says he's going to leave the class, and then we're back on full screen us.
Oh, neat.
Right?
Oh, this is another thing I was thinking about.
Yeah.
What a great thing to always stay kind of humble and allow yourself to learn from the people around you, because everybody has something to teach us.
Yeah.
And, when we allow ourselves to just kind of come from this place of like, yeah, I'm always learning and I want to continue learning, and it doesn't matter how old you are or what successes you've had, but there's this like really fantastic thing around harnessing the passion and excitement of other people around.
Mr. Zach Lang, what's up, man?
How you doing?
Good. I saw
the ideology of just, they have different ideas and they just don't know how to put it into action. So I think, I just want to know what is the best way to stay consistent once I get back to school, because in terms of, not only just morning routine, but like anything, making sure, does that make sense? Like the consistency once I get back to school.
I'm curious, what is it that, what is it that you're telling yourself? Like, what are the things that you tell yourself all the time? Your inner language, we all have this content in our brains, it's like blah, 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 I'm this, I'm that, they think of me this way, they think of me that way. Like, what's the content in your mind that you're constantly listening to? Because it sounds like maybe things have not been so easy for you to follow through with, and I'm just wondering, like, what are you hearing inside of yourself? What's the language that you use with yourself?
Well, I don't know if I shared this with Evan before, but I tore my ACL my senior year of football. So that was a huge mental thing and physical thing, to get over. And then, going into college and stuff, I suffered a lot of, anxiety and stuff, from that injury and, just everything, in college. And, but, over my life, I've been really known, you just talk about, like, I guess how you're perceived by others, I assume. I've always been known for my work ethic and how hard I work. And sometimes in high school, it didn't get noticed as much as it should have. A lot of politics and stuff. But, I think that's my one word is hard work, because I feel like, if you have that foundation, anything's possible if you just put your mind to it and focus.
Okay.
I think
Zach, let me ask you something a little bit more specific. See if you could find this. You have to check in with yourself, okay? So just take a moment. Yeah. Just see if you could just take a moment for yourself, okay? Because this is really about you. When you're really quiet, when there's nothing going on, Zach, what are you saying to yourself? What are you busy with in your head?
I'm busy with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I know that. I could hear it from the way you're talking. So if you really took the time and you paid attention, because remember, this is all about, we started with, entrepreneurship, mental well-being, and some of that is like, our minds are active all the time. Mine is too, and I know for sure Evan's is. Yours is always busy, right? But it's the content, and believing the content can be a dangerous thing, because probably 85% of that content is garbage. Like, not kidding, it's actual garbage. So when you think about it, it's like, you might be, like you talked about your ACL, this injury. Yeah. Now, I don't know, but if I was going to use my imagination, I might kind of imagine, oh, well, when you had an injury like that, you might have thought, oh, my God, like, I'm a loser, nothing goes right for me, oh, this will hold me back forever. Oh, you're nodding your head. So, yeah, okay. So that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about, because that's the content. We could repeat that kind of content for hours and hours and hours every single day. And what it could do is undermine every hope, dream, and desire we have in our lives. When we're able to actually look at that content and understand what's true and what isn't true, what we need to pay attention to, and what is actually just garbage, it can be life-changing. So that's what I'm asking you about. What's the mental content?
I think we lost him. He's lagging out. You went on a roll there. That was fire.
Go. Yeah.
Yeah. You went on a roll there.
Yeah. Well, you know me well enough.
That was good.
I do
anyway,
rolls.
Zach, I hope that helped, man. That was good. Okay, let's see. Guys, super important.
Yeah.
Super important.
Well, so much of it is just not true.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about Zach. It happens, man. This actually is great because I need to show Anna how like here. Rail is asking how to avoid being burnt out.
Whoa.
Okay, there you go.
That is a beautiful question.
Okay, Rail. I'm excited for this answer, Rail. Here it comes. Take notes.
There is no burnout. There's only not paying attention to yourself.
Dang.
It's not a secret, actually. I think everybody kind of knows that, because I know you don't know it, but it's like when we really take responsibility and we pay attention, there's this like little inner voice that we all have, and it's not a secret and it's not a surprise. Most of it is just about paying attention, because the minute that we pay attention, we catch the early warning sign of I'm feeling tired, I'm feeling hungry, I'm feeling nervous, I need to hang out with a friend. We all have this kind of inner wisdom, and a lot of it actually comes from our emotional system. When we have a really good relationship with our emotional system, our kind of emotional wisdom will guide us really, really well. But when we're disconnected from that, or we tell ourselves it's not okay, or it's not the right thing, or I'm an entrepreneur and I shouldn't have to think about any of that crap. It's like, it's not true, because we're all integrated, connected human beings. And when we're really paying attention to that, we can feel our feeling of being tired. And when you lean towards feeling tired and you let yourself properly rest, you don't get burnt out. You just don't. And it's not that you won't have bad days or tough days where it's like you have to work harder or you need a little bit more rest. But when you give yourself time to readjust, when you're honorable towards yourself and you're actually paying attention to the inner world, then you can have so much energy. I'm going to give you a personal example. So I started to work with this training company, and I just love them. I really love them. And I was doing deadlifts. And I'm not really a big person, but I'm trying to do this weight training, and it's really fun. So it's like the more weight I lift, I'm like thinking like, wow, that's so amazing. So I'm lifting this like For me, it was really heavy. It was 85 pounds in the first round.
That's good. That's good. 85 pounds.
I know. And it's like, that is way more than half of my weight. I will just say that. So I'm doing deadlifts. So I'm lifting up this big bar with 2 weights on the end. And as I'm lifting it up the first round, I did fine. And then on the second round, I did it twice. And then on the third round, it was like, oh, that doesn't feel right. And I put the bar down, right? Now, I noticed very quickly something didn't feel right. And instead of saying, oh, no, push through, I got to do this, and being brutal with myself, I just kind of made a decision that it was fine if I couldn't do that right now. And as a result, I did kind of, my back hurt for a couple of days, but because I was paying attention, like this was 3 days ago, today I'm okay. It could have been worse. I could have actually injured myself. But this is why I said, this idea of burnout is mostly not paying attention. So really, you guys, if you're an entrepreneur and you're really trying to do something with a mission on this planet, you're mission driven, then a big piece of it is taking real ownership of what is happening inside of you and, really leaning towards that with a lot of self-respect.
There's no burnout, just not paying attention.
Not paying attention.
I like it.
Yeah.
We got Tina Davis in the house.
Hey, you. How you doing?
What's up, Tina?
Hey, I'm just traveling and training. I love your story about not going forth lifting that weight.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Tina is a what are you? You're like a championship weightlifter or something. You're
I'm a champion in everything. No, I'm a personal trainer. I've been lifting weights for 35 years. So,
Whoa.
Yeah.
Tina, where are you? Where are you driving?
I'm driving back to work. I'm running errands. I'm going back to train.
Where are you in the world?
I'm in Los Angeles.
Oh, wow, fantastic.
Yeah.
It's so great. So is your business personal training?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Oh, wow. So,
Yeah.
So you know all about that deadlift?
I know all about that deadlift and more, yes. I love deadlifts. They're one of my favorites. Yeah.
It takes a lot of courage to really start to lift weights and to get strong. How did you get started?
It definitely does. I was 19 when I started, and it was at a time in my life at college that, you drink too much, you're partying too much, and it's like, I need to lose weight. And I was always active, and I decided to just go do it. And a lady just showed me. I just kind of showed up, and this lady showed me how to work out. I still know the routine to this day. And I kept with it, and it has changed my life. It has saved my life. It really has gotten me through a lot of tough times in life with training. And so it's not just the weight training itself, it's also the building the strength inward, like you're talking about, that inward strength that I've built.
Mm-hmm. And physical training, it really teaches you how to pay attention. Well, you have to pay attention, otherwise you'll just injure yourself.
Exactly. You have to know when to push, you have to know when to pull. You really do. You have to know. You have to meet yourself where you're at each day.
Can you say a little bit about this? How it saved you? Because I know just in terms of the endorphins and the physical outlet, exercise is one of the things that I recommend to just about everybody that I work with, simply because of what it does on a biopsychosocial level, like what it does to your body, your mind, the hormones, and everything gets released. But how did it help you? How did it turn around your life?
Oh gosh, like when you're pinned up and you have anxiety and depression. Like I lived with a lot of depression in my life, and surrounded by chaos growing up with alcoholism and sexual abuse. And my outlet was to go out jumping and running, riding my bicycle. And anytime I would do that, just walking to the bus stop, I would forget about what was going on at home, and I would get into my day and in present and happy and excited about life. And to this day, I do the same thing. If I wake up and I'm like, oh, I got to get up at 4 a.m. and get to my client, all of a sudden I just find this, I put happy shoes, I put happy clothes on, and I start moving, and by the time I get to my client, I'm like the rooster waking her up. And I even told her this morning, my client, I said, I'm like a rooster. Maybe I should get a horn that has a rooster sound. And she's like, no, that would be our last day. But it saved my life, and I know how I can help a lot of people out there to save their lives and keep instill a happy life in there. It helps them to have a happy life,
So I have a question for you, Tina. What I was saying when we started this chat, I don't know if you caught the first part of it, but I was talking about entrepreneur mental well-being and just how, your own past can pour into the present and can pour into your work. And then you were just talking right now about growing up in a home where there was abuse and alcoholism. Like, how have you faced that? What you learned from your own family of origin, how have you faced that in your work, and how have you been able to work through that, or help yourself not let that intrude, or does it intrude, and how do you deal with that then?
I got a lot of help. I had a lot of therapy. I traveled the world to find myself, to get help and understand my family, my ancestors, why they did things and why it happened. And I've stopped a lot of those patterns in my life and for my children. That's the biggest thing.
Oh, wow. You know what? I have so much admiration for you, because I just, for me, I know that we're all on this planet to evolve, to be the best that we're supposed to be. And your story is one of those evolution stories. It's touching to hear it, I have to say, because I know, no, seriously, it's so sweet to hear it, because I know what it takes to really grow in that way. And, when we take responsibility for it, when we really own it, everything around us changes. We make the world brighter. You just made the world brighter right now.
Thank you. Well, that's my job. And I want every client, every person that comes in my life to feel better when they leave me. When I leave that door, my intention every day with all my clients that come see me, I want them to feel better when they leave. By the time they leave, I want them skipping and smiling and having a good day.
Oh, I want to come to Los Angeles and work with you.
Well, she's coming to Toronto next month.
I'm coming to Toronto in a couple weeks.
We'll see you next month.